This is what separates the men from the boys. Right fellas, welcome back. I need to actually do something on my cars. I've been coming here the past couple of weeks, just sat in here looking around. I think I'm struggling for motivation at the minute because the thought of show season this year is like hanging in the balance with obviously all this new COVID stuff. So there's no real rush for me to do anything, but I thought I'm going to come out here today and try and do a few little jobs. So what I'm going to do, I've got the boot I need to finish off, so I need to put the number plate bracket on, registration plate, and then obviously wire that back in. And I'm going to have another look at the subframe shrouds as well, and I need to try and figure out what I want to do with that, because I bought some screws the other week from Mini Spares. The near side screw fits, but the offside one doesn't. It's too small. So what I need to do is try and figure out if I can buy a set of drill bits. So I could probably drill it out with a standard drill bit. I don't know, I could probably do it like either 4 or 5 mil, and then get a new fixing for them. And obviously I'm going to drill both sides out and make sure that both of them are the same fixing, because I don't want one side with a bigger screw than the other. It'll just, even though you'd never notice it, it'll just bug me. So I need to have a look at those today and figure out how I need to fit those. And I'm just gonna go through it and just see what we can do. I've got no real plan, but let's see how it goes. Obviously, before we start any work, this is sick. It really is. Right, okay. So before I get stuck in, I'll show you these. I'll show you these bits. So, like I mentioned on my last video, I've had all these bits powder coated. The reason I've gone for powder coat as opposed to having them sprayed is just longevity. And what I've decided to do as well is the actual registration plate mounting kind of bracket itself. I've had that done in gloss black. I was umming and ahhing about doing satin black, but the registration plate is obviously satin black. So I thought if I had it gloss black, it'd be a nice contrast between the two. Whereas if I think if it was satin black, I don't think it'd look right. So that's why I decided to go gloss black. And obviously gloss black will match the roof as well. These tanks are done in satin, so that's what kind of made me think. But when I offered the registration plate up to those tanks, there was nothing there. So I think it'll look pretty good when it's done, but obviously we'll find out in a minute when it's all bolted back on. So like I say, I've had that powder coated. This is all pre-drilled, ready to go. Obviously I pre-drilled the plinth before I sent it off to the powder coaters. I've got some plastic fittings as well, with like a nice flathead screw mark in there. I'll show you a little tip what I like to do with those screws, because if I ever see someone with these screws and they've not done what I like to do, it just triggers my LCD. Alex Hart knows about that, because every time he comes in my garage, the first thing he does is get a flathead screwdriver and start messing around with screws on my cars, and it drives me insane. So yeah, so that's what I've got there. Obviously the screws to fix it all back in, I've already put in there. I've wound them in and out a few times just to get rid of any excess paint that may have gone into the holes as well. Those are the subframe shrouds, which I'll cover in a bit. One thing I'm going to do as well before I put these in permanently, I've got some wax oil that I found on the shelf somewhere. All I'm going to do is I'm going to spray a little bit onto a piece of this card, and then before I put the screw back in, I'm just going to get some wax oil and put it in the threads just to protect it. I mean, it's never going to be exposed to crazy elements anyway, but you can never have enough protection on a classic Mini, because these things, like, you blink and they start rusting. So yeah, I'm gonna do that. But right, let's just get busy. That looks absolutely mint. You've got a nice contrast between that registration plate too. Like I say, that gloss black on the outside just works really well with the satin black. So what I did do as well was I put a little bit of wax oil where the bar goes through the brackets, just basically to loosen it up. It was a little bit stiff when I first tried it, and I thought, obviously, over time that wax oil will kind of get in there, and it is getting looser now. It doesn't quite pop down. Well, it's getting there now, slowly. It pops down like sort of halfway when you open the boot, and obviously if you want it to be full, you just got to give it a little bit of pull. It may change when I put the lamp on. Obviously, I've got a little bit more weight. So, right, I just need to go and strip off the light off the old boot. I've not had a chance to pick a new one up, so I'll probably use the existing one. I'll have a look at it and see if it's salvageable. It didn't scream out to me that it needed changing, so I'll go and have a look and then we'll get it wired in. Right, fellas, so I'm just having a look at this boot lid now. This boot light, I think will come up all right. It's a little bit scratched, just where it's kind of been knocked and stuff over the years. To me, that looks quite original. Quick look. Couldn't find a smaller screwdriver. Yeah, it looks certainly looks all right. I don't know. I'll find out if that's original or not. Let's have a... Right, okay. So that glass has got Lucas stamped in it, and it's got a part number, I think, of 467. I'll do a little bit of research on that and see if that's the original one, or even that. I think I bought a set of these for me van, so I'll have a look at them as well and see if they're, what's it called, and the same as that, and if they're the same as that, I know it's a remake then. But yeah, the only thing I want to do with this now is inside this light there's just a little bit of kind of dirt and stuff, so I'm going to give this a clean up. Once I've give it a clean up, I'll show you before and after what it looks like, and we'll get on the new one. So I'll catch you in a minute. I'm not going to bore you too much. Right, okay, so that's the lamp all off the boot lid. I just put it back together just so I know I didn't leave anything on the floor. So basically all it needs doing to it, that needs polishing, that needs cleaning. Also this rubber seal as well, could do with a bit of a clean up. Hang on, I'll show you now. Right, okay, so I pulled that rubber seal back. Basically what I'm going to do is going to clean that up, because I don't know if you can see on camera there. You can see it's a little bit grubby. So obviously that's been used on the car before, or it's a second-hand part, which is good. At least it's not new anyway. At least it's got a bit of patina on it, and it'll match the car. All that I'm going to do as well is these ends here. You can still see these attached when they're in the boot. So I'm just going to put a little bit of heat shrink on them, just so when you plug these two connectors on there, essentially what will happen is once that's plugged in, that'll be all heat shrinked or heat shrunk together. Just look a little bit nicer when it's in the boot. So right, I'm going to clean this up with a bit of all-purpose cleaner, get this polished up, and then we'll stick it back on the boot lid, because I can't be putting that on a brand new shiny registration plate bracket. You know how it is by now. Catch you in a minute. Right, there we go. And 5 minutes later, that is looking 10 times better. Right, okay, so one thing to mention as well, what's different on this car as opposed to my van. So on my van, the actual light is earthed through the tailgate, not the tailgate, through the number plate bracket itself. So last time we had to scratch a little bit of powder coat off to get an earth when Steve did the wiring on the van. Whereas this one now, because it's already got the black earth cable, I don't need to do that, so I can leave my shiny powder coat all nice and shiny without having to take a file to it. So right, let's shove this on, get it connected up, and then see if it works. Right, okay, so that's all back on, but there's one last thing left to do. Now, this is what separates the men from the boys. I don't care what anybody says. If you've got OCD like me, you'll do this. So basically, all your screw heads, when you're using flathead screws, the reason I use flathead screws is basically for this reason. When you put them on, make sure all your screw heads are facing the same way. And then when I stand behind my car, look behind my car, I'm not going to stand behind it, but you get the gist. All my screw heads are facing the right way. So yeah, that's how you separate the men from the boys. Boys. There you go. Right, okay, so that's the boot lid, 99% finished. I say 99% finished because I've not put the millboard liner on in the back just yet, because I'm just waiting for my cavity wax to arrive. As soon as my cavity wax arrives, I can cavity wax in then and put the millboard liner on. I don't see any point in putting it back on when I'm probably going to take it off next week when my cavity wax arrives. So yeah, that's all that's left to do on the boot lid. But overall, I'm really happy with how that's turned out now, considering obviously I only wanted to get rid of the boot lamp. But when I look at that old boot lid now, like the old registration plate bracket was a little bit crispy. Wasn't finished as good as this one. Obviously now the badges, I put all new badges on. That looks great. Cleaned all this up. So overall, I'm really happy with the end result on it. And I just think it obviously makes the back of the car look a little bit cleaner. So I just need to get the old boot lid mounted up on the wall somewhere as a bit of garage wall art, I think, which I think will look pretty cool. So yeah, super happy with it, super happy how it's turned out. I'm really happy again. I went for the gloss black registration plate bracket and not satin black. It gives it a real nice contrast. So I'm going to revisit the subframe shrouds another time. I'll have a look at them probably through the week this week, and then there's some other bits and bobs which I need for the car now. There's some bits that I need now which I'm just waiting for on eBay. I need an interior switch, but I'm trying to find the right switch. I'm after a headlight switch dated 64. If anyone's got a headlight switch dated 64 and you want to sell it, let me know, because I'm in no rush to put a new switch in it, so I might as well wait for the proper one to come up. And I quite enjoy looking for the specific stuff that it needs and try and keep in all the part manufacture dates the same. So it's all part of the fun. But yeah, I'll be back again in a couple of weeks with something else. I don't know what it'll be, but there'll be something. It's always something to do on a mini. So like I say, as always guys, if you've got any questions, get in the comment section and I shall see you in a few weeks. I am considering doing a live stream in a couple of weeks as well. It's been a while since I've done one, and I think it was pretty cool last time we did one during the first lockdown. So I think now we're all in lockdown 3.0, we might as well get a live stream going and just talk a bit of nonsense on the weekdays or over weekend and stuff. So right, I'll catch you next time guys, and stay safe. Be seeing you.